Hello, I'm Leyla Gulen, and this is Global Market Bulletin. Today, we're joined by Breaux Walker, Chief Strategy Officer of SunCar Technology Group, Inc., a company redefining the digital automotive insurance and after-sales experience across China's fast-growing EV market. Breaux, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Layla. It's great to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you've stepped into the Chief Strategy Officer role during a pivotal stage for SunCar. In a sentence, if you could, what's the strategy driving SunCar's next phase of growth and value creation?
I think there's two aspects to it. One is on the product side. We've been very fortunate to be working with sort of the innovative EV manufacturers in China, and they bring a very digital first background to automotive and to mobility. The way they view vehicles and vehicle innovation is really from a mobility experience perspective, not from a traditional automotive auto as a tool perspective. So we're very fortunate to be their partner in creating what is the optimal mobile experience for the driver. Again, a lot of them come from the gaming background, from computer consumer internet, and that's the perspective they bring from a product perspective. They want to make the mobility experience as pleasant as they can for the end user, and we're a key partner for them in doing that. In terms of financially, I think they also are really trying to make it very cost effective for the end user, and again the experience in terms of the management of the vehicle, the cost of the vehicle, the cost of mobility, trying to bring that down and make that as affordable as we can for the end user.
hmm And SunCar reported $222.3 million in revenue for the first half of 2025. That's up 9% year over year, with net losses narrowing significantly. What specific levers, mix, cost, efficiency, or operational scale enabled that kind of turnaround?
Well, our growth in the insurance segment really started back in COVID when we invested really heavily in digitalizing our cloud. We use a cloud management to manage all of the insurance and services needs of the vehicle, and we really invested heavily in building an intelligent cloud for vehicle management back during COVID. So for the last few years, not just this last period, we've been reaping the benefits of that. And we've been told that we have a very innovative approach toward managing a vehicle where people talk about AVs and autonomous vehicles. We've had the idea that the management of vehicle should be autonomous for even when there's a driver present. So we have a leading product in the market, and the fact that it's managed from a cloud, and the fact that we're more and more using AI and embedded technology in the driver apps of Tesla and Neo and whatnot, that just really makes our model just a lot, gives it more and more leverage over time as our partners become go more to embedded insurance and app-based applications. Yeah.
hmm And adjusted EBITDA was positive but modest at $2.5 million. What's the path to consistent profitability in the second half of the year and into 2026?
Well, we continue to really drive this embedded model, and obviously the costs associated when you have your insurance embedded inside Tesla's app or embedded inside Xiaomi's app go really plummet, actually. So our partners are catching up to us in terms of digitalization. We've been working with many of them for a few years now, but there have been in the sales process humans in the loop. It's been less than 100% digital because of the way the market is. So as our partners catch up and become, as well as SunCar becomes a sort of 100% digital value chain, then we see our costs coming down, especially on the promotions in terms of insurance. And then on the services side, we just continue to optimize that network. So in both our services business and our insurance, we're benefiting from further digitalization. And then obviously we're employing a lot of AI that helps us in operations as well.
SunCar's EV insurance premiums surged 111% year over year to nearly $700 million. What are the key performance indicators investors should track to gauge this flywheel's sustainability?
Well, I think our partnership announcements are really key. I mean, we started last year with some major ones and that we saw the GMV, insurance GMV really ramp up within those partnerships. Are besides the fact that it's a lot easier, I think in the US, consumers, many of our customers, unfortunately, are not in the US market, but for Tesla, for example, people that drive Tesla see the Tesla insurance button on their, on their console, and when they are in their app, and when they see that, assuming they're getting a good quote, which we believe we have 85 insurers on the back end of our platform, we believe that we're delivering really excellent quotes. But the fact that you have a button on your Tesla app, you push it, you can get insurance from that. It just makes it a very closed loop process where the take rates are really much higher than our partners have experienced before working with SunCar. So that's a big thing. And then I think the appreciation of all of the companies in China for the renewal revenue, Layla, is a very big thing. That's a new kind of a new phenomenon, because prior to the last couple of years, their new unit sales have been so positive that they have not been focused on LTV. SunCar is the optimal LTV partner for Tesla, for NIO, and the other vendors, because we tie in not just our insurance, but our services as well. And the flywheel effect between the two is increasing, because obviously when you get in an accident and you need insurance and most of the time is going to pay for it. So the fact that we're embedded, and the fact that they really appreciate that downstream revenue, that's really found money for them, because previously they had disconnected from their buyer once they had sold the vehicle. Now they're all very focused on the LTV, and we're a great partner for that, and a lot of positive feedback from the management teams within those companies.
Oh, very good. How much of that EV insurance growth comes from embedded insurance offerings through OEM partnerships, Tesla, Xiaomi, NIO, and others versus direct distribution channels?
Now, we haven't broken out the numbers, but the growth, a significant amount of the growth is coming from those channels. What we saw last year with Tesla, and the growth from January to December, was remarkable. We're receiving, again, very direct feedback from the highest levels of Tesla China management, that they were surprised by the take rate, the percentage. We're not the first time that they've tried to sell insurance, but largely those efforts have failed when they've tried to do it internally. So I think the reason you see the growth within all of those names you just mentioned is because our solution is very effective. They've tried for years. They really care, not just care about it, but now they're seeing the take rates, really achieve their goals internally. So we don't break it out, but a lot of the growth you see within our insurance sector is coming from those core EV partnerships. In the future, we'll be giving the street more color, I think, on more specific numbers. But that growth is being driven largely by those EV partners, and then the renewal revenue, as it kicks in over time, is obviously a very of great interest to our partners and ourselves as an annuity on the business.
hmm And SunCar recently announced its Xiaomi business could double in 2025, and that you've taken over renewal management for Xiaomi customers. How transformative is this shift in terms of recurring revenue?
Well, I think it goes back to an appreciation by the EV companies for this revenue. I think previously, when they were selling units, at a rate that they really excited them before the sales in China started to plateau. I think that their interest in this long-term sort of revenue stream was tepid at best. Now we see them very focused on it, and I think they see beyond just this revenue stream the ability to connect to the customer long term, even extending out to the next sale of the next vehicle and things like this. So it's not just the short-term revenue, it's also the ability to stay connected to the customer, also help them on the auto services side. We're the only company that we know of that has a digital auto services network. We have 45,000 service providers around China. So battery replacement, transmission, tires, 300 different services there. So the fact that we do both, Layla, is a huge advantage for us. And the flywheel effect we're starting to see from auto services sales being driven by our insurance, and insurance by autos. It's relatively new to SunCar, but it continues to grow as the digital integration of the two just gets further along.
hmm And you also deepened collaboration with NIO through intelligent car insurance integration for the Onvo L90. What makes these relationships so sticky? And how do you defend against OEM churn as competition rises?
Well, I think, first of all, it starts with us having 20 years experience in digitalizing auto insurance. So this didn't happen overnight. We have been in this industry for a long time. We've continued to evolve the tech stack that we use to meet the same problem, which is to make auto insurance the experience better for the end user. And others have tried in the past, but I think SunCar really has shown its knowledge of the market, and there's a level of trust that the EV, our partners, have with us. Again, we started working 6 or 7 years ago with our first partner, and so the trust has been built up over many years. We've had a lot of development cycles with our partners, and so that our teams are very skilled at this specific application. So now we have the ability to customize, and based on that trust, each one of them have their different objectives. As I said earlier, they all bring this digital experience to mobility. So they all have custom features they want. They all have a vision for what their product can be in terms of differentiated in the market. But it starts with a trust of SunCar, our knowledge of what what can and can't be done, and a knowledge of the industry and the applications as an underlying sort of underpins our relationships with all of them.
hmm And in October, SunCar announced a collaboration with ByteDance to
Yes.
implement AI-powered dispatching across your national service network, targeting 80% coverage by 2026. What efficiencies are you expecting from this rollout, both in cost to serve and customer experience?
Well, I can tell you, Layla, my young children were very excited about that partnership, and I was surprised at how that PR, that announcement, resonated so broadly across our investor base and in the U.S. I shouldn't have been surprised, I guess, having
Yeah.
three young children. I think
You too.
everyone's familiar with the personalization algorithms on the consumer side that TikTok has become very famous for and effective for. In China and maybe in Asia, the enterprise version of TikTok and ByteDance's parent, the effectiveness of their AI is pretty well known. So if you think about why people are attracted to TikTok and the content there, we're using the enterprise version, the Volcano engine, their enterprise product, to really personalize the experience of consumers buying, consuming, and then also using auto insurance. So on the front end, the ability to provide a more personalized, effective policy recommendation is an obvious application. But beyond that, as we expand our insurance product suite to include claims management and other broader insurance products, we're also using the AI there to make that a better experience. You can imagine settling a claim, the ability to know more about the user, their needs, more about what happened at the accident. That just makes the entire process a better mobility experience for the driver. So we're excited about that partnership. I think they have incredible tech, and people who know AI and open source AI in China know that our partners at DeepSeek and ByteDance, they have world leading open source AI. So the we've been asked, is the cost is prohibitive to use this, because we've heard about AI, the use of using AI in the US. Open source AI is an amazing tool, and one that we're going to leverage. And the fact that China is the leader in open source AI is a core strategic advantage for SunCar.
hmm And can you outline the major milestones or deliverables between now and next year that investors can watch as proof of progress?
Well, we've as you just mentioned, we've mentioned that we want to have that the ability to do that across the network.
Sure.
People have asked, well, why can't you just do it, right away? Does it just, well, as people know in the U.S. as well, there are state nuances to every state insurance regime. The same thing in China. We have different licenses. Different provinces in China have different insurance regulations and different coverages. There's certain insurers that will cover vehicles in one province and not the other. So it's not just something where you can roll out these features all throughout the 35 or whatever provinces we're in China. There's certain integration work done, but we're very committed to building this intelligence into our network. As we've done with each sort of successive wave of technology, we're going to be rolling it out into our network and get it across China as soon as we can.
hmm And you've mentioned pruning low margin auto service lines. How does this reposition SunCar's portfolio for stronger profitability? And where do you see the most margin expansion opportunity in 2026?
Yes, well, we have we're blessed to have the Fortune 50 Chinese largest Chinese enterprises as our customers on the services side. So we have a certain uh, moat now. I think with our network, we have the largest network in China again across the country, 45,000 service providers. So that allows us a certain amount of ability to sort of not bid on projects that might be lower margin projects than we did in the past. I think also our customers are appreciative of the ability to manage a large network of auto services and one from a single interface and through a single company. So I think there's an appreciation for what we do and that network, the value of it, and more important than just just work focusing on higher margin business. It's focusing on businesses integrates the two services, insurance and services. So I think more and more you're going to see what's happened with our EV partners, where they're actually now embedding our services module into their driver app. So it's more about, I think, optimizing the two services and also, of course, improving margins at the same time.
Mhm. And in September, SunCar announced plans to allocate up to $10 million towards real world asset crypto projects, an unusual move for an insurance technology company. What's the strategic purpose behind that, and how does it complement your core business?
Right. Well, I have quite deep blockchain and tokenization background, and that I guess played a certain role. But I think what you're finding, and not just with our business, but RWA and Toyota's doing this as well. For example, the ability to tokenize this asset class of auto insurance, and then actually the vehicles themselves unlocks a lot of new business models and efficiencies within our current business model. So we're not the only party doing that. Again, Toyota put out a white paper just a few weeks ago saying that they also see tremendous value in tokenizing both the vehicles and then the finance and insurance aspects of auto. So we think of this as really just another technology tool to improve to improve our mission, which is to further our mission of making auto insurance and auto ownership more efficient and cost effective for the user. And tokenization is one way to do it, where you can whether it's finance or insurance, you can make that process more efficient through tokenization.
hmm And how do you ensure disciplined capital allocation so these experiments enhance rather than distract from your core growth trajectory?
Well, we've been great over 20 years of doing that in this company. The way this company has grown, it's been we only listed and went public a couple of years ago. So 20 years of being a very disciplined private company in terms of our financials. So most of what we do is with our partners. So we don't do it in a vacuum, and we expect that this demand and these features are all really the market there's a pull from market that they see, and we work with them to do this. So on one aspect, we want to continue to be a leader, and we were a leader in mobile app development 10 years ago for auto insurance in China. We were a leader in intelligent cloud 6, 7 years ago. And so this RWA and tokenization really, I think, shows that we're really thinking about where our industry is going, where the vehicle, the management of the vehicles are going, and using tokens and blockchain is a perfect way to decentralize what we're already doing on our centralized cloud. And the market is really said, and the users have said that they want that more control of the asset and or a third party unbiased control, and that's where tokenization and RWA and real world assets, that's where they really shine.
And SunCar operates at the intersection of insurance, data, and fintech. What are your biggest regulatory and data governance priorities in 2025, and how are you addressing those?
Yeah, we obviously have been from the beginning, as we have 60 or so million Chinese vehicle and owner data in our database. We've had data licenses for many years, Layla, and we also have had insurance licenses for many years. So we continue to really want to use our data to help our end user, help our partners. So we continue to work with the government and find more ways to bring benefit to the end user and to the companies that we work with. But we're not new to owning data and having significant amounts of data in our cloud. In order to do that, we have licenses on the insurance side, licenses on the consumer side, and whatnot. I think our view is that we just want to continue to, whatever data we have, to use that to benefit our ecosystem, right? Which is service providers, insurance agents, EV manufacturers, and then the drivers themselves.
And as you deploy more AI into core operations, how do you manage model governance and consumer data protection?
Well, I think that's an aspect of where our partnership with ByteDance and our partnership with DeepSeek come in. I mean, these are the flagship sort of AI companies in China, and so they're very much in sync with the government in terms of regulations, and that's part of that partnership is on the tech side. Another part of it is to make sure that our technology obviously is in full compliance with all the government regulations and whatnot. That's why you don't see us working with startups and lesser known names. That's why we've chosen ByteDance and DeepSeek, and these are companies that have the full backing of the Chinese government.
Yeah, yeah. And management has stated SunCar is targeting gap profitability in the second half of 2025. What conditions need to hold true to achieve that goal?
I think as you see the insurance piece become that segment become a larger part of our business, we see again this further embedding of the insurance into the apps of our partners. That lowers our promotional costs pretty significantly. Previously, we had humans in the loop and a less than fully digital solutions that really increased our promotional expenditures. And so that's definitely a big part of our profitability picture. On the services side, as we have the luxury of choosing less more profitable projects, that's also going to improve our profits on the services side. So those are the two main levers, and then the flywheel effect of the two integrated. Those projects are also more profitable for us in general as well.
Yeah. And if you can, what single operating metric and one partnership milestone best indicate that the strategy is delivering as planned?
Definitely the EV partnerships and the EV GMV. I think that's something to look at. I mean, really, we're very proud of that adoption. Those companies, as I said, have a really renewed interest in long-term lifetime customer value, rather. So I think looking at that EV premium number is probably the single most important milestone or metric that we track. And as we see those partners continue to do more with SunCar, that's just going to drive more GMV on our platform.
Yeah. As we start to wrap up here, beyond your existing OEM partners, where do you see the next wave of opportunity after sales, insurance, fleet programs, or financial institution partnerships?
We continue to expand like within the insurance place. As I said, we were initially really just focused on the sale of the policy. You see some of these announcements are really focused on claims management, really broadening the number of insurance features that we've added, again, right into the app of our partners. So it's really very easy for us to do. And given the trust relationship there, they want us to do more for them. So expanding within insurance is definitely a very easy and short-term opportunity for us. When you see the announcements we've already made, beyond that, extended warranty is another area that we see great opportunity. It's an area of China which is less developed than, let's say, in the U.S. So that's a great opportunity. And beyond that, there's certainly the export market, the ability to take SunCar's unique intelligent cloud technology and be able to use it in Southeast Asia or Eastern Europe. You see our partners are clearly focused on exports the next few years, and we want to be a part of that, of their vision to do that.
And what's your appetite, if you will, for selective M&A technology tuck-ins, geographic expansion, or distribution-based acquisitions?
Short term, we don't have any immediate plans, but where we've seen and where large insurance companies and other partners have talked to us about taking our very unique intelligent cloud that manages the vehicles and being able to leverage that in different geographies. So potentially using it, finding another partner in whichever country it is, and taking our back end, the intelligence about the vehicle, especially the vehicle side, and then having a local cloud partner to be able to deliver the front end, whether it be the insurance relationships in that country or whatnot, but really extending this intelligent cloud beyond China to other markets. That's really the ideal partner we would find.
Okay. And finally, Breaux, as SunCar enters this next stage of growth, what are the 3 proof points you want analysts and investors to hold you accountable for over the next 6 months?
Well, I think the EV policy expansion, continued growth in the EV GMV. The second would be our adjusted EBITDA growth. We've delivered that very consistently over the last few years. And then as we run toward profitability, we definitely will be focused on the bottom line and expanding that as we continue to grow, healthily in the next few years.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Bro, for joining us. And
Thank you.
for our viewers, you can follow verified company updates through SunCar's investor relations website and SEC filings under the ticker. And today's interview is for informational purposes only and not investment advice. For complete disclosures, please review SunCar Technology Group's filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.